Hey, you with the dice. Yeah, the latest shiny is nice. But let us show you real adventure.
So be it! So somebody, I don't care who, tell me what is going on.
This
I can take it.
is the old school.
Lords of Light.
Times 2. Welcome to THACO's Hammer, the best damn AD&D 2nd edition podcast ever.
My cake.
So we're going to do the show here with Full On and I staring at each other.
Yep.
Oh my God, this is crazy.
It's been way too long.
It has been. Hi, folks. THACO's Hammer. It's that time again. Hey. We got Splat Book number 156, another stuff, various things like that. And I am, of course, GM Glen, among other things. And we have GM Full On Gamer.
Greetings, Gamer Nation. It has been way too long.
And we have our cameras on, so we get to like stare at each other for like an hour and a half now. So, and there's GM Brian too.
Hey, folks, what's going on out there? It's been just way too long. How long has it been? Wait a minute. I've got to look this up because I've got the recordings, but yeah, I need to know. This is just something I must know.
I'll show you how long it is. We're DM, not GM, right?
Right.
Okay, I've been saying GM.
We're just that out of practice.
See, on Radio Grognard, I always make sure to say GM or DM or GM.
Mm-hmm.
I wish he wouldn't have. I wish whoever did it wouldn't have come up with Dungeon Master and just Game Master. Sometimes I just say referee.
Yeah, you want to go real old school Grognard. Yeah, say referee.
Yeah. Referee, damn it.
Let's see. It's been...
Dungeon Room number 4. Up. Orc, play on the field. Throw out my yellow handkerchief.
Yeah. It's been literally 3 months since we recorded. Since the 7th of July. That's the last time we did anything.
We've had how shall I say, scheduling problems.
To say the least.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, let's just go into hits and crits then.
Well,
one thought he was invincible, the other thought he could fly.
so
They were both wrong.
Son of a bitch is dug in like an Alabama tick.
You're hit. You're bleeding, man.
I ain't got time to breathe.
We're sending somebody in to negotiate.
Anybody else want to negotiate?
Hits and crits. Hits and crits. Well, here we are. Full On, you want to take your injury first?
well, that's the crit, sure. I had an incident a week after our last recording. I was teaching a motorcycle class, brought my student to me, told her to do a thing, pointed at her hands to say, do this thing, and she started to drop the motorcycle. And since my hands were pointed at her hands, I grabbed the handlebars and tried to catch the motorcycle. I failed my strength check and failed it so badly, I suffered a critical injury and had a distal rupture of the bicep in my right arm, basically tearing my bicep out of my right elbow. Finished the class that day, finished the class the next day, got on the truck that night and drove for a week, saw a doctor, drove for another week, saw an orthopedics, drove for a week, got an MRI, drove for a week, and went and had surgery. And I've been in recovery at home since then. But on the hit side of things, I now have gaming that I've been actually on a table with dice, with people.
What people?
Playing. Pathfinder Society and Starfinder Society organized play.
Oh, you have it over your house or what?
No, not over at the house. Over at an assortment of different gaming halls in the Raleigh, Fayetteville, Spring Lake, Apex, and Cary areas of central North Carolina. But it's free.
So if you
show up, you play, and you document your character. And basically, organized play is kind of like folks who want to remember back to the days of Living Greyhawk and RPGA, where you have on-file character, paperwork filed by the GM into the system, and so forth and so on. And basically, every 3 games you play, your character levels up. XP is not really tracked; it's basically just sessions, and then you go from there. And it's all the Pathfinder 3E world of character stats, feats, and stuff like that. But I'm having fun with it. I've got a operative running around in Starfinder, and it's a rat with a sniper gun, basically. And then I've got a fighter with a halberd in Pathfinder.
Okay. Well, if you see him wandering around that area, just look for another one of those bearded, long-haired guys who play D&D. You found Gaming Jesus. There's a trucking Jesus. I haven't figured out which one.
Probably both.
Probably both. Well, I'm glad you're getting more gaming in. What about the computers? What about the MMOs?
Still get on the Star Wars: The Old Republic and play that. I've been doing all the moving into the house thing because again, the last time we recorded was 4 days after I had finished buying this house that I'm in now, and I'm still in the process of moving stuff in, moving stuff around, and stuff like that. Doing load lifting that the doctors say I shouldn't do with this arm, but I'm ready to get back on the road.
You naughty boy, you. Okay, Brian, you're up.
Okay, let's see.
Had to go through our names. It's like, mine. Okay, Brian.
Well, thank
you. Never do me first. You always have me last.
No, I'm last. Let's see. In the last 3 months that we've been adjourned, shall we say? Let's see. I haven't done too much. I've been, working on things here and there, as usual. My module conversions. Right now, I'm putting in my campaign NPCs into a master Word file. It's slow going because I'm putting in these higher level characters like that dual class fighter martial artist I told you about that I had, and his twin sister who's like 15th level, and putting in all of the special abilities by class, special abilities from magic items, and then actually casting my memory back, 34 years? No, 34 years. 34 years to when I created these two characters, and trying to remember the past history they had. It's been kind of slow going, but I'm working on it. And not as bad as full on, but I suffered a right knee injury 3 weeks ago by overdoing it and wearing shoes that were, shall we say, a little bit past their expiration date. I think
I do that all the time.
Oh my God, it's terrible. I mean, my knee was hurting after I got done with my work shift. Then I went and did home care, and then I did a full grocery shopping trip. And everything, my knee was hurting when I went to bed that night, but nowhere near as bad. Then all of a sudden I wake up at like 2:45 in the morning, feel like somebody shot me. I mean, it was that bad. I basically had to pogo leg it all the way out to my car and drive to the ER, and they told me that I might have a possible tear of the lateral meniscus, but fortunately it wasn't. I had to use crutches for 2 weeks, and then the third week, basically I could limp around, and now I'm almost back to full strength on the knee, because there was a time where if I tried to put my body weight on my right foot, or at least stand on both of my feet, the muscles in my leg would start spasming. It was that bad. So it's okay. I'm going to be doing physical therapy. I'm going to be setting that up, and hopefully within the next 3 to 4 weeks, I should be back to 100%.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
And let's see, anything else? Let's see, my podcast, Confessions of an Arcade Addict, has reached episode, 17? I just put that out last week. I'm going to be recording 18 probably sometime this week or this coming week or over the weekend, and that's pretty much what's going on with me. Aside from the fact I'm
cool.
5 different kinds of broke.
True.
What about
Me
yourself,
too.
Glenn?
Well, before I do that, hey, Full On, you're near. I want to say Raleigh, but
Ish.
see, I don't
actually,
know. I don't know my geography, so
I'm on the I-95 corridor, right, just about 4 miles, 5 miles before the I-40 intersection.
well, I'm not sure if this is in North Carolina or Nashville, Tennessee. You ever heard of the Bellacourt Theater?
No.
Okay, I think it's in Nashville. Never mind.
Okay.
I don't know if you're probably not anywhere near Nashville, so.
No, he's like 2 states over.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I figured he was, but sometimes, if you're on the border. One state?
Well, yeah, but you got to go all
It's
the
just
way
long
over.
states. It's the length of them, but yeah.
I was going to say, if you ever pass through Nashville, I think it's the Bellacourt Theater in Nashville. That's where Riff Tracks does their live shows.
Okay.
You ever want to catch one of those? Anyway, me. Okay. Well, I don't have any really injury to showcase this time, but my podcast, Radio Grognard, I just finished recording my 463rd episode. I'm daily, so
that's true.
10, 15 minutes daily. I'm just like Eric Tinkar. That's still going on too. Tinker, the Tavern Chat on Wednesday nights and Frog God Chat on Tuesday nights on Discord. And check out Tinker's Tavern blog or Facebook page for more information on that. Let's see what else. We moved one city over to Edmond. Although our still, for some reason, our utilities are still Oklahoma City. I don't understand how that works. But our address is Edmond.
Mm-hmm.
And I moved into this great office, which has a minimal, right here where you can't see is minimal amount of my core stuff for gaming. I couldn't put everything in here because I had to put all my DVDs and Blu-rays in here, of which I have now, according to DVD Profiler, I have over 1,600 discs.
Good Lord.
So...
And that's not even the movie count is probably at least, I'd say, close to twice that because you got all those box
Well,
sets.
I think they're counting the box sets too. They do that.
Wow, that's a lot.
I've been doing Inktober this year, which is like the illustrator's version of the National Novel Writing Month. Mm-hmm. I draw something once a day and post it.
Hey,
usually on their Facebook page.
Yep, I've seen it.
Just to say, hey, I did this.
I did this thing.
Yeah, I see all these beautiful pictures, and mine look like, but I'm doing it. I'm doing it for a reason. I'm doing it for 2 reasons, actually. One, I bought some brush pens, and I want to use brush pens, so I'm trying to get used to it. So I'm using this to kind of, get practice with my brush pens. Uh-huh. At the same time, I want to see if I could just bat something out.
Nothing
and
wrong
just
with that.
have it look halfway decent and put it on there instead of sitting around going, oh, I should do this. Come on, produce something regularly, Glenn. See if it other than your podcast, okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do too.
Yeah, let's see. I said we moved. I said the thing with the thing, and the gaming's going okay. Well, we're still doing Astonishing Swordsman for a little while longer.
Nothing wrong.
And
with that.
I'm having a ball, and Gage has turned into the butt of the jokes, pretty much.
Well, yeah, he's the kid. You know how that goes.
Yeah, they even put memes up about him.
Oh, geez, I'm sure he loves that.
Yeah, you know that one you see every once in a while, that cartoon of the 2 buttons and the guy sweating?
Yeah.
And Carlos says, the GM of the 2 buttons say, kill Gage's character or give him a cursed item.
Wow.
No,
that's mean.
But he's having a ball though. It's great.
That's good.
Let's see. Like I said, we've been married for 19 years on this day of recording. Mm-hmm. So
congratulations.
Thank you. Happy anniversary. Mm-hmm. And I just try to keep the train going.
Yep, that's all you can do sometimes.
Yeah, I just keep it going here. I want to get back into voice acting, In fact, the reason being, is because we have this awesome closet in our bedroom, our ensuite. It's a walk-in closet that goes through, and the sound dampening is phenomenal in there, especially with the clothes. Awesome. And it's like, I've got this resource. I need to use it. I need to get my damn laptop in there and use it.
Yes, exactly. So, as long as you got a spot where there's not a lot of echo.
The last three moves, it's like I got no place to do this at all. Now I got a place. Now I got to do it. So anyway, and anything else I forgot. So that's me. So what about email? Anything?
All right. Yeah, we got plenty. Let's see. We'll go with DM Mongo first of all. He's
Mongo.
Yeah, Mongo. Semi-regular emailer to the show.
Yeah, well, he's just pawn in Game of Life, so.
I see what you did there. He says, Dear Hammerites, love your podcast. Can you add a section that reviews D&D novels hitting the original Gygax books, Greyhawk novels, and the Realms books?
Hell no. No. Sorry. gut reaction. Sorry.
Well, actually, I don't have a problem with this.
See.
We'll go.
You're assuming I read those kind of books.
Well, yeah. Between Falon and I think we've got it covered.
I think so. And I could even add one or two things. Mm-hmm. I'm passingly familiar with them.
Okay. He says, you always touch on them, but hearing another DM's perspective on the complete novels would be interesting. I don't have a problem with it. I mean, geez, there's so much, and I've been reading stuff electronically for at least the last 6 months, especially the Realms books. I mean, I went through the Double Diamond series. I did the Erebus Kale stuff, which was interesting. So, yeah, I think we can do that. I certainly think we can do that. What say you, Fawn?
Oh, I may have a few.
Okay.
Novel idea.
Oh,
let's see.
My D&D novel reading consists of the Avatar trilogy and Prince of Lies. That's it.
Which was good. There's more to it. I mean, anything Elaine Cunningham writes, I'm all over.
Well, you see, it's funny. The time I've always thought Prince of Lies was better than the three books that came before it.
It was,
and it was fun. It's like going to a grindhouse to watch a trashy trilogy, and then going to a nice theater to watch something like Spielberg directed.
Oh hey. And Falon just sent us a picture of his
very nice Falon.
that is the bookcase just for the Gygax, Realms, etc. I even have the Warhammer books down at the bottom, and the Eberron books. So I've got all of Planescape, Eberron, Gygax, Forgotten Realms, beginning to end, Black Wizards, all the way through. Yeah, all of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I've got like tons in my closet, which I can't read.
I can also throw in on the we can expand on that, and I can throw in on the graphic novel comics that they did, and we can also dive into a bit of ElfQuest.
Oh, geez, ElfQuest! I've got those books too.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I think
I've got 3 of the 4 volumes of IDW reprints of the original DC Advanced Dungeons and Dragons comic book line.
I've got those in PDF.
I need the 4th volume.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to find.
Yeah, I've got those comic books are in a box in my walk-in closet that I'm looking at now.
I've only read volume 1, but I treasure those things.
Yeah, those comics were excellent. So okay.
I tell people, if you have that, you want to know what a D&D game is like, read those comics.
Exactly. It's a graphical representation of a D&D game. Okay,
yeah.
So I take it we're all in agreement.
Yes.
Okay. Now, all we need to do is come up with a snazzy name for the segment, and I can start putting stuff in the
novel idea.
Oh God, no.
Tomes of Legend.
What's that?
Tomes of Legend.
Okay.
Works.
Okay, Tomes of Legend, a novel idea. No. That's way too easy.
Sometimes easy is the way to go.
I know.
People on Inktober have been going, oh, these prompts are hard. I have a hard time coming up with this. I said, when all else fails, I just draw the obvious. Yesterday was the word sling. I drew a sling and stones from D&D.
Oh, dear.
So I'm not going to waste a lot of brain power on this stuff.
No,
so,
I get it.
novel idea.
Okay.
So.
All right, I've got it. I've got it written down. So now.
The idea is to draw, not think.
Yeah, this is true. So now I'm going to have to start putting in all of the novels. All of the novels. We'll talk more about that, but I'm going to start with what we all know and what we've all read, and we'll just go from there. Any suggestions, just get a hold of me.
Does the D&D coloring book count?
Funny part.
Hell, my D&D books were my coloring books. There were black and white drawings in my books that I went after with colored pen, colored pencil.
Yeah. I did the exact same thing. My 1E DM's guide had almost every illustration in there has been colored with marker.
Yeah, this rule books. We're talking novels here.
Oh, yeah. No, I never did.
Well,
that.
I know people who've taken their 1E monster manual and did the same thing. So,
well, Mongo, you've hit on something really cool here. So yes, we will do this.
We're going to have to hit back harder.
Yes.
300 shows later.
Yeah, I'm thinking about all the books that we can go through, and yeah, we could probably keep this show running for probably another 10 years, just off the books.
Just 10 years?
Yeah.
And the good news is a lot of these you can actually package together and do the trilogies or the quadrilogies or the never-ending drowologies.
Yeah, this is true. Salvatore wrote released Boundless. So yeah,
he's about a full 1/5 of the Forgotten Realms run.
Yeah, at least 20%. You're right. You're absolutely right. Okay. Well, thank you for that suggestion, Mongo. And when you hear this episode, you will be either credited or blamed, depending on how this goes. Okay, so Glenn had to step away for a second, so I'm going to take the helm until he gets back. And getting back to our emails, if I can pull up the thing, let's archive that. Okay, we've got a second one from Michael Robinette, DM Mikey. He says, this is a little bit long, so bear with me. Okay, he says, Dear Thaconians, hi and thanks for the show. I've been listening since about December of last year, alternating between newer episodes in the back catalog, and have gotten up to episode 137. I'm a big fan of the show. I don't get the chance to play right now, so listening to you is kind of listening to my old gaming groove. Anyway, on to why I'm writing. I finally got a chance to listen to Splatbook 97, your discussion of Spelljammer. Well, I listened about 5 or 6 weeks ago, but I'm slow in writing this. Considering it's been 3 months since we've recorded an episode, Mikey, I think you'll be forgiven. Let's see.
No, let's burn his butt. I'm in an ornery mood today.
Yeah, I can tell. Geez, who peed in your post, Toasties? Anyway, I've always been a big fan of Spelljammer. It has its number of problems in execution, but I love the concept, the visuals, and most of all, the space it gives, no pun intended. Honest. Yeah. That's what makes the pun worse. You didn't actually intend it. To set whatever kind of game you want. I have to admit, though, I modified the settings so much in our game that it could be best described as Spelljammer-ish. Knowing the general consensus towards Spelljammer among you, I was interested in hearing your take and seeing if the issues you had with it were the same as the ones I had. Let's see. Let me interrupt here for a minute and say I thought your review of Dark Sun was very fair. You are one in a handful who think so. Everybody else who are Dark Sun fans think we were bagging on the setting, and we weren't. I went out of my way to be objective about it.
Well, you weren't.
Well, it is.
I know.
But, yeah, okay, to continue. You didn't say it was horrible. Your general consensus was just that it was an interesting setting for stories, but not a setting you want to play in. That's very fair. So while I do love the Spelljammer setting, I know of its problems and had no worries that your review would be too harsh. Having said that, your review was, well, nice, really. I know a big part of that was that you had All Dragon on the show, and he was a big fan. A little aside, All Dragon runs a stream on Twitch with his spell jamming game, and it's actually really good. It's one of those. Spelljammer is just one of those settings where it all depends on the DM. But I digress. Let's see. I was almost disappointed you didn't go further into issues you had with the setting. My dream show, which will never happen, but still would be All Dragon and Corey debating the pros and cons of the setting. Oh my God. That's all we need to do is just turn those two loose against each other. The rest of it's just sit back and just sip tea like Kermit the Frog. Unfiltered, I imagine it would get an adult rating on iTunes pretty quickly. It all depends on what mood you catch Corey in, really. But, let's see. To continue.
What would be ideal is if
Go ahead.
they ran a game for us where it was a spell jamming Illithid ship.
Mm-hmm.
So we get to mix Spelljammer and Psionics together.
Oh God!
And
Glenn would be so out.
We'll all play the monsters.
Oh, that would be funny, actually. Oh, I'll skip the next paragraph because he's just basically thanking me about a quick response to an email he sent regarding an episode that wasn't in the archive. I just went and corrected it real quick, so I'll just skip over that. Anyway, thanks for all you do, and I look forward to hearing more episodes to come. I just saw on Facebook today meaning October 5th, that you haven't quit the show. You just had a hell of a past few months. Yeah, that's an understatement between the three of us. I'm very glad to hear that.
I've been asking every month.
Yeah, I know you have.
When do we record?
I know. Well, you didn't tell me you were home on rehab. I thought you were out on the road somewhere. Okay. That's neither here nor there. I'm also glad that you have 150 episodes in the catalog. I thought there for a minute I was going to have to switch to old episodes of RFI. Woo! Ooh. Yeah, okay. I'm just going to let that lie where it is.
At least you didn't have to save or die.
Hey. I think Glenn would take issue with that. Okay. Yeah, I don't think we'll be revisiting Spelljammer anytime soon. I mean, I have to say something. I have to admit that just like kind of with Dark Sun, it was colored by the DM who was running it, which strangely enough was the exact same DM. It all depends on what the DM is able to do with the setting and what he's able to pull with it. Because I've watched All Dragon stream several times, and it's just, it's D&D in space. That's what it is. And he's really good about, being not only a good DM and being impartial, but also, injecting, humorous elements into the game. And also, he's also got really good players on top of it. So, it's just one of those kind of settings. Oh, Glenn, don't distract me with that. He sent me a picture of some old Wuxia films that he picked up recently that we talked about. But anyway, okay.
But no, he needs to move up the timeline a bit so we can play Treasure Planet.
Hey, I'm all right with that. I would play in a game that All Dragon ran. He's a good enough DM for sure.
Even the Am I Annoying website says Treasure Planet is the closest thing we're ever going to get to a Spelljammer movie.
Probably.
They have not watched everything that they've ever done dealing with Peter Pan and Hook. They have not watched Mortal Engines. They have not watched, there's so much stuff. And there was
leaving the anime out of it.
Yeah. Yeah,
I haven't talked about anime yet.
Oh,
I was about to go into the anime where they really
that's why I said that.
Yeah, for sure, because that's a whole different thing. I mean, geez. All right, let me archive that.
I mean, if you wanted to be mean, you could always just take New Battlestar Galactica, reskin it as Spelljammer, and hit play.
Oh my goodness. Classic or 2005. There's a
said new. Or old. Well, actually, both work.
Yeah, I'm not even going to go down that road because I've got a real bugaboo with the new Battlestar Galactica and how everyone's saying it's the best science fiction series of all time. No, it's not. And I will leave it at that.
It's adequate. It does what it needs to, but...
Thank you. That's exactly the word I wanted to use. It's adequate. But no, it's not the greatest. Anyway, okay. Moving on to our last email, which is a short one. This is from Chantel Jones, regular emailer to the show. Okay. Hi, guys and Glenn. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you got a little bit of a special thing there, Glenn.
It's more like Ann Nordberg.
Ann Nordberg. Let's see. I love all the shows, but the start of Splatbook 151, you guys kind of talked about, EX 1 and 2, Wonderland and the the Looking Glass. It's Dungeon Land.
The Lewis Carroll stuff.
Yeah, the Lewis Carroll adaptations. Yes, I love those two modules, and I would like to know how Glenn would make them so that they're not so railroady. I feel that out of all the adventures, these would kind of have to be, but as Full-On said, maybe they're roller coasters. Thanks for the show.
I always thought they were railroads.
Yeah, I mean, when you have to follow a plot... I mean, we saw this with the Dragonlance novels, the Dragonlance modules.
Well, let me put it this way. Not only are they railroady, but I recently read a review of the two of them, and the reviewer, some blog review, the reviewer brought up something that I didn't realize before, but these two modules can give Tome of Horrors a run for its money.
Yes, they're deadly.
Yes.
Yeah, they're a reason why those modules are, what's the level spread? 10 to 14, I think? Yeah, there's a and that's 1E 10 to 14. So, yeah, they're going to be deadly.
Exactly.
So, yeah, the last time I played in these modules, I'm trying to remember who ran them. I think it was my friend Dave who was DMing us through them. And we were running, I think there was only, 2 other players, maybe 3. No, it's 3. No, it's 3 of us. It was the 4 Musketeers. It was me, my best friend Rob, my friend Edgar, and Dave was running it. And yeah, so we basically had to use 2 characters apiece, and I think those characters were right around, so right in between that spread, between 10 and 14. And yeah, those modules are deadly. If you don't do things in a certain way, yes, you will get bored. But yeah, it wasn't too bad. Oh my God, full on. Jeez,
one of the things that can benefit those type of modules is a exploration and a rework to reconnect and make it a roller coaster network, so that you can skill challenge your way through things, so that the Deus Machina thing, the widget that you have to have, has different ways to be gotten at or ways to be gotten around, so that if you didn't go to X room in Y sequence, you can still succeed in Z problem later. Because if you miss the one thing, you're screwed. You don't have the thing. So you need to that's why they came up with the notion that you can always have at least 2 to 3 solutions to a problem. And segments of information that if you don't get, you can find somewhere else, or you can just do without. And maybe you get less as a result at the end if you didn't expose this last bit or bring this last thing to light or bring this last thing with you. You suffer some penalties or you gain some bonuses or whatever in your final boss fight or whatever you get to. But you engineer workarounds into the system so that the train doesn't stop. The only thing that sucks with railroad games and makes them boring as opposed to roller coaster games is they stop when they go off the rails. With the roller coaster game, hey, if I'm jumping one track to another, that's a thrill. Let's do it.
You got a good point.
Definitely.
And I never thought of them as roller coasters. I think you just gave me fodder for my next episode tomorrow. Thank you, Full-On. Thank you for sending the email person.
That's Chantel.
Chantel. As you can tell, I was only half paying attention because I was doing my little tease thing for Brian. So keep it clean.
Yeah.
But yeah. Thank you. Is that it for the emails?
That's it. That's 3.
Okay, you can send us an email at thacosavage@gmail.com, or you can call us, which nobody ever does anymore. That's okay.
Actually, I need to start doing voicemails because we've got a backlog, actually.
Okay.
The number
Do another
is,
one.
We'll do that in 157. As a matter of fact, you want to know what? I'll make that a voicemail show. Our number is 405. Let me get this right. 405-806-0555.
There we go.
That's how out of practice I am.
That's my boy.
Put the sticky on your screen.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. Speaking of stickies, okay, let's go into Magic Fingers.
Eeny, meeny, chili beanie, the spirits are about to speak.
Well, it just so happens that your friend here is only mostly dead.
Sounds like a lot of supernatural baloney to me.
Supernatural, perhaps. Baloney, perhaps not.
Magic Fingers.
Magic Fingers, boy, that
there's a segue.
There's a segue, boy.
Oh my goodness.
Augury.
Yes, the augury.
Augury.
Mm-hmm. I have it right here for you.
Augury doggery. Mm-hmm. And this is scrying. This is,
Yeah, and this is to find out if you do X or Y, if one of these things harms your party. Okay, that is in the divination sphere. It's a 2nd level spell. Let's see. Range 0. Components: verbal, somatic, and material. Duration is special. Casting time is 2 rounds. Area of effect is special, and no saving throw. The priest casting an augury spell seeks to divine whether an action in the immediate future within 1/2 hour will benefit or harm the party. For example, if the party is considering the destruction of a weird seal that closes a portal, an augury spell can be used to find out if weal or woe will be the immediate result. If the spell is successful, the DM yields some indication of the probable outcome, be it weal, woe, or possibly a cryptic puzzle or rhyme.
You always hope it's
That
real.
is exactly why my players absolutely, utterly hate me, because it says or cryptic puzzle or rhyme.
Yeah.
And I'm good at throwing those down in short order. For good or bad, I won't give you, I very rarely ever give the short answer. So they don't know what they're going to get.
True.
Right.
My players like to use the Toys R Us spell because it gives them a big wheel.
Spin it. Let's find out what happens.
I was really working for that one.
Yeah, I was stepping in what you were smelling, or smelling what you were stepping in. Anyway, the base chance
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Base chance for receiving a meaningful reply is 70% plus 1% for each level of the priest casting the spell. Your DM determines any adjustments for the particular conditions of each augury. For example, if the question, will we do well if we venture to the 3rd level, and a terrible troll guarding 10,000 silver pieces and a shield +1 lurks near the entrance to the level, which the DM estimates the party could be after a hard fight, the augury might be, great risk brings great reward. If the troll is too strong for the party, the augury might be, woe and destruction await. Likewise, a party casting several auguries about the same action in quick succession might receive identical answers regardless of the dice rolls. The material component for an augury spell is a gem-inlaid stick, dragon bone, or similar token of at least 1,000 gold pieces in value, which is not expended in the casting. So, yeah.
And you can also find this in your Volume 1 Pre-Spell Compendium on page 46.
Yeah, I saw you looking at it.
Yeah. Full On has the priest and wizard spell compendiums covered. That is true.
He does.
Let's see. Have anybody used this as of late, or in any games that you remember? Oh, cool. Yeah, I figured you would, fool. Glenn? You?
Sorry, that was a sneeze.
Oh, bless you.
It's okay. I turn off the mic in time. No, I have not. In fact, I'm looking for the day when somebody tries that, and I will cringe.
Oh, come on. There's lots of different ways that you can handle it. You can try the naughty little limerick. You can give the epic poem. You can draft up a few in advance just in case people use them, like doing legend lores or other fact-finding investigative things that players are wont to do every once in a while. Mm-hmm. But be prepared for the oddball question to come up. And, I mean, you can even bring it down to something as simple as a silver clarion bell sounds off through the heavens with a thundering roar. Yes, you will succeed. Or the entire earth rumbles and shakes. The earth quakes, lightning flashes, the sky turns red. What do you think I'm saying?
Yeah, draw your own conclusions.
I would rather have them use a black ball and it says answer unclear if you ask later.
You can keep one of those under the desk and pull that out.
That.
It happened.
Yeah, I'd absolutely do that. That'd be a great use of an magic 8-ball for sure.
Oh, yeah. I also started using the GM cards. There's the deck of player cards and the deck of GM cards that has answers to things like that way from yay, nay to little oddball things. And I would use a variety of them. And I could not be pinned down on a accuracy of whether or not I was giving things away or not. Mm-hmm. But they asked something, they got an answer. What they do with that answer is on them. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But again, it's one of those things where you're not obligated to describe to them. Either you could simply say nothing happens and you get no answer, or you get no meaningful answer. Because it doesn't say you don't get an answer. You get an answer. It's whether or not it's a meaningful answer. So the lazy GM will simply answer when they want to give an answer and you've succeeded at the check, and say busy tone when you don't get an answer and you're unsuccessful. That's a lazy GM. Well, it can happen, and sometimes you're under pressure and you're pressed for time, or you're not inspired with a response, and you can do that, but it gets tiring after a while. Mm-hmm. Keeping them on their toes and on edge with every answer could mean something is part of the root of, just like the murder hobos will go out of their way to follow the rabbit trail of the wrong thing all the time to the ends of the earth on their own discretion. You don't even have to inject anything. But if you want to put that little nudge on steering them towards the right path, towards the right track, to give them a thing, you can. And if it's going to bite them, you can give them that nudge anyway and say, hey, how well do they deal with getting bit?
Mm-hmm, exactly.
I'm not too crazy with riddles and stuff, but I'd like to expand this out a little into things like, I don't know. I can't think of the word now. Oracles.
Oh, yes.
And things like that. Because this falls under the purview of things like oracles and stuff.
Oh, you mean like the Oracle in 300?
The Oracle, whatever Oracle. I mean, shit. Sorry. Well, hell, it could be the Dungeon Master from the D&D cartoon. He's a frickin' Oracle.
Oh my God! Don't even get me started.
He's tossing those riddles out right and left, and I mean, I don't blame the guy for getting frustrated. But the point is, here's what I like to do sometimes. If that situation ever comes up. And usually they're consulting somebody who's a seer or something.
Yeah.
And my favorite thing to do is to pick a person in the party. Sometimes I will just roll a die to pick which one or whatever, and give them some kind of mystic answer to something they never asked or something. Mm-hmm. And then I write that down and see if I can work that into the game.
Hey, that works.
And it's like, because I want him to put him a little. I like to put the characters a little off balance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that at all.
You are destined for great things, but I would watch out for the snake. For the snake behind you. that kind of thing.
Oh my, yeah. You realize, of course, that's meaning more that they're going to start suspecting each other when you do that.
Mm-hmm. Well, you watch okay, I'm going to go back to movies for a minute. You watch something like Nightmare Alley, or there was another one with Lon Chaney Jr. where he was a mystic. And especially Nightmare Alley, they show you that, people are coming to them saying, oh, I want to talk to my Uncle Bucky or something, and they do the whole thing. Or if they come to them and read cards or whatever, look at them and just give them answers that could fit anything. And let the person give you how, you give them the answer and they go, oh yeah, Uncle Bucky used to do that.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
I see a dark woman with him. Oh yeah, that was my aunt. Okay, we'll go with that.
So you want to play the mentalist route. Yeah.
Sometimes Augury's great for that. And sometimes the players do that.
Yep.
They will just toss something out to you. It's like, well, thank you very much. I should pay you for that.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean,
I'll pay you back for that. That's always the fun part too.
Then there's that.
I'm gonna encourage some spellcasters to take Augury just so I can mess with them like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, see, to me, at least as a DM, my players, there's only been, in my experience, there's only been maybe one or two players who've actually took the time to study, to read these spell descriptions and say, hey, I can get some information here, to get some possible information here about what we're doing, and if what we're doing is right, or if there's something else we should be doing here. And those players are the ones that ended up advancing faster because because they're using their ability as a cleric to give, to provide the party with more information, just like the thief goes out and does information gathering about whatever thing they're interested in. And
the bard goes in legend lore, exactly. And all those things.
A lot of people forget that clerics are also good for that too.
Yeah,
information.
Exactly. Well,
thieves go out and get information, but this is the more like celestial kind,
exactly.
Shall we say.
And that's my whole thing. And I'm always inclined to reward those players who actually are saying, hey, I have the divination sphere. Let me commune with my allied powers or my god directly if we're high enough in level, and let me find out some information about what we're doing here, and this way we've got knowledge and we can be forewarned and forearmed, and we can actually raise our chances of succeeding at this thing we're doing.
Yeah, the fighter tells everybody, I need information. The thief hits the streets, the mage hits the books, and the cleric hits his knees.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. With his holy symbol in hand.
Right.
So, but yeah, I mean, and that's the whole thing. And the problem is, it's frustrating for me as a DM for when these players are trying to just basically bum rush their way through an issue or a problem, and they're relying on their ability to kill things, like Full-On said, going full murder hobo, and to get through their problem. And there's some problems, and I go out of my way sometimes as a DM to say, hey, not every problem you are able to solve with a fireball spell and some really good sword play. There are some.
Sometimes you need an axe.
Yeah. Sometimes you need an axe. Sometimes you need a microscope or a telescope or whatever. But that's my whole thing. And yeah. When there's a player who actually plays his cleric more intelligently and saying, hey, let me commune with my allied powers, see if I can find out something about this, I'm like, yes, thank you. Rather than listening
there's a reason.
Go ahead.
I was going to say there's a reason that they started leaning towards options in clerical spellcasting, whatever system you use, to make it available to do this, because this is one of those utility spells that clerics are meant to have on hand and use when necessary to solve the problem, get the clue, advance the story. Yep. And The heal bot function is something you dip into at need, but not what you prepare.
Right.
You can always do the heal function by sacrificing a spell slot or whatever it is you choose to do, but you've taken the time to pray for the guidance of getting the augury spell, getting the other battlefield manipulation spells that you can have and affect the outcome of the fight or get you to the right fight, with the information you need to have. Yep. That's why these spells are useful. You use them for these tools, and giving the cleric the option to have them and use them rather than, gee, that would be nice if we had nothing better to do, but I've got to stock up on nothing but cure moderates and cure lights. That burns you as the GM if you are not letting them have that flexibility and option to rain out those other capabilities of the cleric.
Yeah, or as a player being, or as a newer player to the game, and letting your fellow players dictate what you take as far as spells go. I mean, that's the other reason why I adopted free casting for clerics. It eliminates that problem. And all it basically comes down to is that the player playing the cleric has to marshal his power a little bit better, to be able to have the information gathering spell or, the protective spell that may save the party's bacon or whatever, but yeah, I mean, and it's like you just said, Fawn, heal botting is something the cleric can do. It's not what they are. and this is one of the reasons why I bring these spells out is that, hey, clerics can do a hell of a lot more than heal or cast augmentative spells and things of that nature. So yeah,
that's right.
So
that's right.
I think we've covered it.
I think we have. Yeah. Let us know what you think. THACOshammer@gmail.com. Hey, let's move on to Snipe Hunt.
Two fools who laugh at death. Do you know what horrors lie beyond that wall?
No.
Then you go first.
This world's divided into two kinds of people, the hunter and the hunted. Now, luckily, I'm a hunter. Nothing can ever change that.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
I'll swallow your soul!
Come get some.
Time for a snipe. And it's a snipe hunt. What do we got there? Cloud Giant. Ooh, big boy.
Yep.
Up there with his head in the clouds.
Yep, literally.
Oh, yes.
Okay, to describe it, let's see. Number pairing 1 to 10. Armor class 0, hit movement rate 15, hit dice 16 plus 2 to 7 hit points. THACO is 5, 1 attack per round. If they're attacking barehanded, they do 1 to 10 points of damage, but if they're by weapon, it's 6 to 24 damage plus 11. Let's see, they can hurl rocks for 2 to 24 points of damage. They're surprised on only a 1. They're huge size, they're 24 feet tall. Intelligence is average to very. Organization is tribal. Alignment is neutral, but there's a 50% split between good and evil. So they can be your allies or they can be your enemies.
Right.
All depending on what tribe you run into. Let's see.
By the way, you might want to consider this one of the errata bits that they added when they were mentioning this. That plus 11, that goes to that 1d10. If I punch you, it's 1d10 plus 11. Because that's the strength bonus of a cloud giant.
That's true. Yeah, that's a 23 strength for those scoring at home. Let's see. Cloud giants consider themselves to be above all other giants, save storm giants whom they consider equals. They are creative and appreciate fine things and are master strategists in battle. They have muscular human builds and are handsome and well-defined features. A typical cloud giant is 24 feet tall and weighs 11,500 pounds. Female cloud giants can be 1 to 2 feet shorter and be 1 to 2,000 pounds lighter. Their skin tone ranges from a milky white tinged with blue to a light sky blue. The hair is silvery white or brass, and their eyes are an iridescent blue. They can live to be 400 years old. Their natural armor class is 0, although they wear no armor. These giants prize magical protection devices, and 1 in 20 will have such a device, such as a ring, a cloak, or whatever else you can think of. They usually dress in clothing made of the finest materials available and wear jewelry. Many of these giants consider their appearance an indication of their station. The more jewelry and the better the clothes, the more important the giant. Cloud giants also appreciate music, and the majority of giants are able to play one or more instruments. Their favorite is the harp. Unlike most other giant races, cloud giants leave their treasure in their lairs, carrying with them only food, throwing rocks, 10 to 100 coins, and a musical instrument. Cloud giants speak their own tongue and the language of all other giants. In addition, 60% of all cloud giants speak common. Let's see, moving on to combat. Cloud giants fight in well-organized units using carefully developed battle plans. They prefer to fight from a position above their opponents. Favorite tactic is to circle the enemy, barraging them with rocks while the giants with the magical abilities assault them with spells. Cloud giants can hurl rocks to a maximum of 240 yards, causing 2d12 points of damage. The huge morning stars do 6 to 24 plus 11 points of damage, 3 times normal man-sized damage, plus their strength bonus. 1 in 10 cloud giants will have a magical weapon. Let's see. They live in small clans of no more than 6 giants. However, these clans know the location of 1 to 8 other clans and will band together with some of these clans for celebrations, battles, or to trade. These joined clans recognize one among them to be the leader. This is usually an older giant who has magical abilities. 1 in 10 cloud giants will have the spells equivalent to a 4th level wizard. 1 in 20 will have equivalent of a 4th level priest. Cloud giant cannot have both priest and wizard abilities. That's unfortunate. If encountered in a lair, half of this number will be immature giants. To determine a giant's maturity, roll 1d4. A roll of 4 indicates an infant with no combat ability and hit points of an ogre. Rolls of 1 to 3 indicate older progeny with hit dice damage and hit rolls equivalent to a fire giant. The majority of cloud giants live on cloud-covered mountain peaks in temperate or subtropical areas. These giants make their lairs in crude castles. Only 10% of good cloud giants live in castles on enchanted clouds. All giants dwelling there are able to levitate their own weight plus 2,000 pounds 3 times a day, create a fog cloud 3 times a day, and create a wall of fog once per day. These abilities are performed as a 6th level wizard. There's a 60% chance that a cloud giant mountain lair will be guarded by 1 to 4 spotted lions, 2 to 5 owl bears, or 2 to 5 griffins, or 1 to 2 wyverns for evil cloud giants. In addition, there's a 50% chance that the lairs of evil cloud giants will contain 1 to 20 human and demi-human slaves. There's an 80% chance that a cloud island lair will be guarded by 2 to 5 griffins, 2 to 8 hippogriffs, or 2 to 5 giant eagles. Wow. Let's see. Cloud lairs are fantastic places with giant-sized gardens of fruit trees. According to legend, some of these giants mine their cloud islands for small chunks of the purest silver. So, yeah. When I was reading this description, it immediately put me in mind of Return to the Against the Giants, which was the second edition adaptation, because you go up against evil cloud giants at the end of it. I mean, that's a complete campaign from first level all the way up to, I think like 15 or 16, going towards 20. And at the end, yes, you have to attack, go up against evil cloud giants on their cloud lairs. So yeah. Like I said, these giants can be, the best of friends or the worst of enemies, depending on the alignment, of course. And I mean, I've used them as both. I've used them as, as the Charlie to the parties being the angels, so to speak. where they've gone up against evil giants and so forth, and so just sort of to maintain the status quo amongst the giants, that one race doesn't get too powerful to think that they're going to try to take over their region and so forth like that. And they've also been enemies for the party to fight against. I think of Secret of the Silver Blades towards the end, where you're running up against like 10 cloud giants. The final battle is like 20 of them, including like a possessed storm giant on top of it. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you had to have plenty of fireball and lightning bolt spells for that fight. Trust me on that. So yeah. Thoughts, guys? I've spoken enough.
Well, there's things that you bring giants into the fight for, and things that you don't. For general purposes, if you're looking for allies, you want to bring giants into the fight against other giants, obviously, or against dragons. That's always a good foil for the dragon kind that you're dealing with, is to have a giant on your side, or vice versa. Get a dragon on your side to go against the giantkin. That works both ways. When going against large numbers of giants, that's the time when you want to start thinking about all the things that can increase your battle power. This is the time to perhaps not use the damage die cap rule for strength damage to weapons. So if you've gone out of the way and gotten lucky and gotten yourself gauntlets of ogre power, girdle of storm giant strength, and you want to throw daggers for a round at somebody, you don't want to have that capped at +4 damage, because it's a D4 weapon. D3 against large. So plus 3 points of damage is all you can get out of your girdle of storm giant strength. No, you want this thing to be your 50 cal round, where you fire off a 6 to 9 round burst of daggers because you're using haste, and you get your plus 12 to damage with each dagger. That hits. And, it's the broadside of a barn, so you should be able to when you're gaming at this level of power. Because when you start talking multiples of giants, that is a significant threat to the existence of a party. That would not be your 16th level characters going up against 20 storm giants. That would be your 20th level characters going up against 20 storm giants, because your party size of 3 to 5 to 8 players is going to be what it takes, and expect someone to get mushed.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
always.
Yeah,
always.
When you're fighting at that level, and the damage is flowing back and forth that quickly, someone's going to get stomped. It's true. Go ahead.
Heck yeah. I don't use them very much for some reason. Just stuck in hill giant territory, mainly because they're way up there, and my players don't usually go. They usually go way. What?
No, I was going to say your players are way down there.
Yeah, exactly. And
they're at the go to the Gandalf and go to the mentor stage of encountering cloud giants, not, and we'll take all his stuff.
Yeah. I for some reason I'm remembering the Judges Guild module under the Storm Giants. Was it under the Cloud Giants? Where you're going into a cloud. It's basically a castle on a cloud, and all the walls are made out of cloud and stuff. And it's like, this is BS. But if the Cloud Giants deign to come down, there's going to be trouble. Mm-hmm. I can't see my players getting past their guardians. To tell you the truth.
Well,
yeah.
You can see things going...
I play very low levels.
Oh, well.
I run very low levels.
Mm-hmm.
5th level is an achievement.
Wow.
So, man. Yeah. Okay. That's even after I switched to adventure-based EAP. Mm-hmm. Where after like three sessions, you go, okay, you're all 2nd level.
Mm-hmm. Oh, geez.
That kind of thing.
Okay.
But so I don't have much play with them, but it'd be interesting for them to try and storm a storm giant's castle. I think that would be fun.
Mm-hmm. Oh, just sort of just a blitz, just to get in there, get something, and get out.
Give them some reason why they have to be in there.
Right. Okay.
Not just, we're just going to go up there and storm them and rip them off. No, you're not.
No, you're not.
You better be more prepared than just say, I'm just going to, Rambo right in. Mm-hmm. You don't Rambo in a cloud castle. You just don't.
Mm-hmm. No, you kind of don't, because unless you are that high in level. I mean, going back to the original Against the Giant series, I mean, even when you went up against the Hill Giant lair, this is 1E Giants before they got their power upgrade for 2nd edition.
Yeah, and
that
was still
an 8 to 12 level module.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember
more importantly, the head count of party members required.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
That was not for 4 adventurers.
No, that was for
6 to 8.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
These days you can't get that kind of party together unless everybody's playing like 2 characters.
Or everyone's playing on Roll20 or something. It's true.
Yeah. Well, even then,
I'm getting 7-member parties when I play Pathfinder and Starfinder in organized play. That's
fine. I can't.
You're fortunate, Paul. You're fortunate.
Even if you're doing it on Roll20, I couldn't do it. I just can't run more than like 5 or 6. Although we have 7 in our group, but I'm not running right now. So it's just
other examples of things where you've seen giants in play in cinema and stuff range from Jack the Giant Slayer.
That was classic. An excellent.
Your Narnia stuff. You can see similar veins in Maleficent and Maleficent, Mistress of Evil. Yeah, they're the trees, but it's still the same skin in the game. You've got Once Upon a Time TV series. They called them ogres, but they were giantkin of the greater stature.
Ogres are giantkin.
Yeah. And the ones that they were characterizing in that show were bigger than ogres significantly. Mm-hmm. You've got the ones that showed up in The Lord of the Rings. You've got the ones that showed up in Game of Thrones. Mm-hmm. Those are some awesome giants. And you can see what it's like to have a giant in a fight when you see those battles.
Mm-hmm. Another one was Thor: The Dark World.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just Thor.
The first one where he went up against the stone giants, and all it took was one giant to insult Thor, and Thor goes absolutely bat crap. He just starts fighting before he learned to temper that side of himself.
Exactly.
And another very epic one that you can think of. Take a look at the anime Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
That is a whole nother mental state of how to deal with fighting giants.
That's weird stuff right there.
Oh, but it's good.
Weird, yeah.
Oh, I'm not saying it ain't good.
Yeah. It's weird.
I hadn't seen anything like that before, that's all. These things are like totally foreign entities. It's weird. Mm-hmm. Sorry, it is.
Okay. I'm agreeing with you.
And then if you want to ramp it up one other power scale, you get into things like the Titan from Attack of the Titans, or Clash of the Titans. You get the thing with the boat on his head from Time Bandits.
Time Bandits.
Those are not monsters you fight. Those are
monsters
hazards on the battlefield. Those are conditions you deal with in the fight, not things that you take the hit points away from.
Right. Mm-hmm. Leave their hit points, just run.
Exactly.
Anyway, that is the stone giant, folks.
No, the cloud giant.
The stone giant. What did we say? Cloud giant. Cloud giant, thank you.
The sometimes nice one, 50% of the time.
Half the time.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you guys want to talk about this or anything, THACOshammer@gmail.com,
mm-hmm.
and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And we go on to playing favorites.
I always preferred sliding down the snakes to climbing up the ladders.
Survival depends on a quick, decisive...
Here you go, more negative waves. Have a little faith, baby. Have a little faith.
Playing favorites.
Okay, playing favorites. We're going to do the top 5 augmentive spells.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that pretty much casts a wide net.
Well, let me...
Because a lot of spells can be whipped on other people besides yourself.
Correct, but I was also thinking that a spell that actually increases either the caster's or the subject's ability, whether it be through stat gain or through something else.
Okay, fair enough. I think I got them going here.
Okay.
Okay, should I just flip a coin here or roll a die?
Well, roll it. Roll it.
Oh, I rolled a 6. What'd you get?
Let's see. Oh no, I gotta pull up my hat.
No. That's all right. I got it.
3. That's all I had to do. Just had to pick up my phone and roll a die. So I rolled a 3.
Oh, okay.
Because my dice are packed away.
All right, fine. Well, mine are just aren't handy right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let Full On go first. Full On.
Okay.
What's your number? What's your number 5?
Okay, number 5. We'll start with your basics. Haste.
Haste, good one.
Yeah. That's
go faster, attack more.
Mm-hmm.
Go faster, attack more. Go faster, attack more.
Yep.
Then retire.
You might get a little bit of aging in it, but whatever.
Just make sure you put it on the elf.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Elf or the dwarf, exactly.
Yeah.
No. Haste on the half-orc. Haste on the half-orc all day long.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Yeah, you'll be fighting for one day.
Half-orc dies at 35. What are you talking?
All day you'll die in one day. Okay, fine.
But no, this is a spell that is great for casting. It's better when implemented in a item. So
yeah,
boots, rings, things that doesn't impart the aging, just lets you go fast.
Yes. In Astonishing Swordsman games, the Berserker has boots of haste.
Oh my goodness.
And it gives him that and a few other things, gives him an insane amount of attacks per round.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Like 5?
You got the...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
and the things that you can do when you start getting into the cleave category and haste and things that give you extra attacks on top of already extra attacks, arrows of tripling, and just firing like a machine gun is it has its uses. I mentioned in the last segment about how when it's time to start going against the giants, you need damage output. How do you get damage output? You get more attacks, and it's the only way you really can go.
Right. No, I tend to agree with you 100%.
You know who I would like to give boots of haste to or cast haste on? Now this is beyond second. This is not second level, but if you have an assassin in the party, get him to that backside real fast.
Yep.
Or the flanking position.
Yeah.
Haste and invisibility.
Oh, yeah.
Because then he has a chance to assassinate, and if he doesn't assassinate, then he backstabs.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I'm right there with you.
That's nice. All right, Brian, what's your number 5?
Well, I'm going to take haste out of mine because that was out of my list, so I'll pass it on to you.
I am not changing my list at all. I'm just going to say ditto.
Okay, so haste number 5 all across the board. We're in agreement. This is good.
All right, if you have anything to add, go ahead.
Exactly.
Cast it on your quickling, and you really want to make the party throw up.
Hasted quicklings. Oh my God.
If you want
96 to begin with. Ugh.
Yeah, if we have duplicates, just say, "Yeah, that's mine too," and this is how I use it, or something like that.
Of course.
Okay. Hey, do you want anything to add to that, Brian?
No, it's pretty much covered. I use it. It's one of the like the gold box games. Basically train me how to prepare a party for a huge fight. Bless, prayer, haste, protection from fire, protection from cold, protection from evil. Just right down the line.
But you're getting into Leroy Jenkins territory here.
And fights, you had to go Leroy Jenkins.
Okay. Okay. My number 5. I wrote them down, and I'm going to take them in no particular order here.
Go ahead.
First one I'm going to put up is a first level spell that I've taken often as a mage is enlarge.
Yeah.
A long time. That was my only spell when I was first level, and it came in handy. I never wasted it on people. I would put it on things like holding a door or throw a rock and enlarge it into a boulder or something like that, and throw it and enlarge it. Items are great for it.
The inverse of that is my favorite anti-paladin thing in the world, or anti-things that can dispel magic inherently is, yes, diminution. Take something big, shrink it, throw it at the thing that dispels magic. Boom! Insta-hit.
Yeah, this is true.
I'm waiting for somebody I said, I may be the mage, but ain't no way I'm going to put it on the berserker. I've seen that happen. Enlarge on a berserker. Oh, if he can't break his berserk, you got a ton of fun.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with you.
Yeah. Okay, let's go back. Number 4, full on.
Strength. Bull strength.
Okay.
Again, items where you need to get the fight on, you have to get the damage up. The other way you get the damage up, other than having more attack options to get more attacks in to do damage, is once those damaging attacks hit, they need to do the maximum amount of possible damage, and you do that by upping the strength.
Yep.
Okay, fair enough.
And I'm going to agree right with him. And yeah, it's and I'll actually use the other one. That's commonly used, which is cat's graves. That'll be my number 4. I was looking for
cat's graves.
Yeah.
Dex.
You want
Dex booster.
Dex booster. Okay,
yeah.
we're talking.
Yeah,
you want
your rogue to be able to succeed at a thing with using his skills. Throw this on him. If you want to, maximize the armor class that one of your fighters has, throw this on him. It's
especially your swishy poke light fighter who goes for the dex option.
Exactly. Executively. So yeah, it basically just like with a strength spell, which increases your strength, this increases your dex, gives you the missile attack adjustment, the reaction adjustment, the defense adjustment. All your bonus to your proficiencies, your dex-based proficiencies too, and your thief abilities. Yeah, it works. So,
okay.
Yeah, I'll say cat's grace.
Cat's grace. Okay, my number 4 is... Okay, first of all, let me preface this by saying I don't like casting times. Okay. But if you have time to do it, if the mage has time to do it, Spectral Hand, a 2nd level spell. You take a turn, you bring that hand up, then you wait until your next turn, zap a spell through it, and go reach out and touch someone with that hand.
Yep, I agree with you 100%.
Oh, shocking! No, I can't get him for shocking grasp. No problem. Go.
Oh, the casting time is 2.
Yeah.
Fast.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So I mean,
it's one of those quick get it off in a fight spells. That's what it's designed for.
It's a support spell. It's not anything you can really use in a battle by itself.
Yeah, it basically gives you a ranged component to touch spells.
Right.
That's the best.
Yeah, without having to be a spell archer.
Exactly.
Which is the other way that people did it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, I need to heal you. Flap, here's an arrow.
Flat-headed arrow. Here you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Who said flat? Heal spell is all but 1d4. Just like I stab you with my dagger, you're healed.
I ruled in my game that clerics can use ranged weapons like bows and crossbows as long as they use arrows with flat heads. Mm-hmm. There's nothing saying you can't put a big rock on the end of your arrow and shoot it at somebody's head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could. I mean, the range would be like completely screwed, but yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, but you probably got something magical going on anyway. Maybe. Okay, that was number 4. Number 3, full on.
Okay, well, Tensor's Transformation.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that
I got one to go right along with that, but go ahead.
What am I saying?
Your size and strength of the wizard increases to heroic proportions, becomes a formidable fighting machine.
Yes.
You become a berserk fighter when the spells run out, or it's immune to magic. Okay, I'm a beat stick. Wham!
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for when you want to transform into He-Man.
It's a Hulk out for the wizard, basically.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And it's one of the only thing that gives the wizard the attacks of a fighter of the same level. So, one attack around? No, not today.
Yep. If you're 13th level mage, now you got 2 attacks around.
Yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
At least with your dagger. You get to attack twice with your dagger. Your staff is still only once per round.
Oh, no.
But you get bonuses to attack and damage.
Okay.
This is one of those, okay, guys, duck and cover. I'm going to go do this type spell.
This is what you do. You cast Tensor's Transformation, and then you cast Mordenkainen's Sword.
Ooh.
Yes, that gives the spellcaster the ability to wield the weapon to move and strike as if it's being used by a fighter. So you get the same. You get the attacks of the attack level of a fighter of half your level as a mage. So if you're 14th level mage, you attack. You have the THACO of a 7th level fighter, which is still better than a 14th level mage.
True.
So yes, and it's also magical. It can hit almost any opponent, even though those needing to be hit by +3 weapons or astral, ethereal, or out of phase, and it hits any armor class on a roll of 19 or 20.
Wow.
And it inflicts 5d4 damage to normal-sized opponents and 5d6 against large.
Wow.
So yes, Tensor's Transformation is half the battle. You cast this right after that, and all of a sudden, yes, you can wreck shop big time.
Oh yeah.
So, that's my.
You want to do
3.
more? Tensor
Okay.
dips into the Tensor. You could just say the Tensor spells as the whole number 3, because he's also got Tensor's Deadly Strike.
Mm-hmm.
All melee attacks made by the caster are at the usual chance to hit, but every successful attack does maximum damage to the opponent for the duration of the spell.
Yeah. So So Tensor Strike, Tensor's Transformation, and Mordenkainen's Sword. Yeah. You are going to be destroying things for quite some time in that.
Okay, my number 3. I'm gonna add to the pump up the character party here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not really pump him up, but protection from normal missiles. That has more handy than you know, especially if you're going to give somebody with Tensor's Transformation or the Berserker or somebody who just wants to charge in there and go, okay, boom, they can't hit you with normal missiles. Go!
Yep, exactly.
Or the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Throwing rocks are normal missiles.
That's right. It'll bounce. I'll give it to him. I'll give it to him.
You give it to him. I could go either way on that, because you're talking about being hit not with something softball size. You're talking at the very least medicine ball size, but probably bigger than that. Mm-hmm.
It did not give a size.
Okay. Okay.
But there's a way around that, and that's my number 2.
Okay. Everybody's thinking of, like arrows and crossbow bolts. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you got to think out of the box.
Normal, non-magical missiles.
Okay. Well, I agree with that. Yeah.
He hit you. He hit you with the trebuchet. How did you do that?
Catapults.
Yeah.
Ballista.
Trebuchet.
The whole 9 yards. It doesn't have to be a giant that throws the rock. If you can sit there and go spank, well, okay. What do you got next?
Yeah.
What else you got?
Oh man, I keep thinking of The Last Jedi at the end where Kylo Ren throws everything he's got at Luke, and he's just still standing there. That's what I think protection for. I know he's an illusion, but that's what I think about protection from normal missiles. But anyway, we're on to number 2. Full on. You said what?
Well, the way you get around that is the very next spell, Magic Weapon.
Ah. Well, yeah, so, that's a given.
So now I'm throwing a +1 giant stone at you. Spank. not a normal missile anymore.
Well, because normal missiles only get you so far. So,
And the time when you have as a character access to the spell magic weapon will be in that window of you probably haven't found a magic weapon yet. All you've got is what's in your hands, and curses, you're fighting an undead. Sorry, you're fighting a werewolf. Nobody could afford silver.
Well, let me ask you something. I seem to remember this, but that's any weapon you can whip it on, right?
Yeah.
And I know they're not in second edition, but if I have a monk and I have fists, whip it on my fists. All of a sudden, I can hit those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Or your fist weapons, your brass knuckles, your other monk weapons, because you can do the monk things with monk classified weapons. Well, in certain combat.
Excuse me, pardon to put this on my feet. He's going to get boot to the head. Yes. I like that. Thank you.
Enchanted boot to the head, yes.
There you go. Brian, number 2.
Okay. This one is a little bit out of the box, but I think it still counts. A not very often used spell or even talked about spell called Find the Path.
I've heard of that one.
Yeah.
So you're stuck in the middle of a dungeon.
You're orienteering.
You're stuck in the middle of a dungeon that's not under mountain. And you don't know the way out. You cast this spell. And it basically shows you the most direct path to get out of wherever.
It gives you that GPS line.
Exactly.
You just follow the line.
Yeah. You worship. You pray to the god of Tom. Yes.
Yeah, it's a GPS for magic.
For adventurers, exactly.
Yeah.
And so it gives you the most direct physical route that you're seeking, be it the way into or out of a locale. So yes, if you're trying to get to the big bad's room because he's in there sleeping, but there are way too many corridors, and those corridors are patrolled by his minions, you cast this spell. Okay, we go this way. In 100 feet, turn right. In 100 feet, turn left. In 10 feet, turn right. The big bad's door is on your left. Turn left.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you turned down the girl who was talking to you. I see you walk through the dungeons. In 50 feet, turn left.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Turn that thing off. Yeah. Okay. Number 2 for me is pass wall.
Okay.
Pass wall. You're never in a dead end or oubliette or anything like that with a pass wall.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And if you want, part of the dungeon collapsed, but I know there's more there. This map says so. Okay. Pass wall? Hey, look, there's another room we can walk through.
Yep. Yeah.
It's just like having
that's a utility spell, but not an augmentation spell. Something that benefits, protects, or builds the party.
It benefits me.
Let him have it, Full
On. You don't like that? You're not going to like my number 1. Mm-hmm. But what is your number 1, Full On?
Well, before I give my number 1, I'm going to give my honorable mention because no one else has bothered to do it, Stoneskin. I figured we couldn't possibly get through an entire thing like this without mentioning Stoneskin.
We talk about that in defensive spells.
Yeah, almost said barkskin, but
yeah,
that's defensive.
But it's augmentation. It gives you protection you don't otherwise have, and it falls in the same category as your protection from normal missiles.
Yeah.
Defensive. It's your defensive augmentation. Mm-hmm. But if you want the ultimate in augmentation spells that lets you pull off the miraculous, go big or go home, level 9, shape change.
Hey, sure.
Okay.
Not a polymorph. You actually, no system shock required. And something people don't often remember, you can keep changing.
That's true.
You're not stuck in one chosen form. I want to be a dragon. I'm as big as a dragon. I can beat on things like a dragon, yada, 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 yada. I can be a flea. I can be a will-o-wisp. I can be a specter. I can be anything. Every round of the fight doesn't take any time, doesn't take a system structure. You can change form and fight. It doesn't take an action to change. You just will it so, and you have the ability that you've chosen to fight with. Yeah, you don't get the things that require innate magical abilities or magic resistance, and the mind is yours, but you can turn into a griffin and fly away. You can turn into a freet and fly through roaring flame, go to a titan, lift up a wagon. You know.
Okay,
right,
I'll give it.
Yeah,
I'll give it.
certainly give it because
the
spell as he was talking about. I'm like, yeah, and the duration.
Any living creature below demigod status, greater or lesser deity, singular, dragon type, or the like. So you can't become Tiamat, but I can be an ancient huge red dragon.
Yes, you could.
Fair enough. Okay, number 1, Brian.
Okay, and I'm surprised nobody else thought of this because this is one of the best augmentative spells. Because not only does it augment your character, but it prevents certain things from hindering or even disabling your character. Free action.
Never heard of it.
Just like the ring of free action, you can't be held.
Free action. I thought you said reaction.
No, free action.
Free action I have heard.
Yes. You can't be held. You can't be paralyzed. You're underwater, and you have to fight against some Sahugin.
You have normal movement.
You have absolute normal movement, and you can use bladed weapons underwater. Yes. But, yeah, so that...
So if you have a ring of free action, that means all that applies to when you're like...
Yes.
Correct.
Why do you think everybody wants them?
Yep.
Ah.
The fighters
because everybody thinks of... I always thought, every time underwater, all they want is like water breathing and ring of free action.
Yep.
Yes. They want a necklace of adaptation, either water breathing or if they're smart, they free up a ring slot and they say, I want a necklace of adaptation and a ring of free action.
Yep.
Got it. Okay.
Or a helm of underwater action.
Yep, that too. But yes, free action gives you so much. It protects you. It also gives you the ability to move normally in underwater and so forth. I personally think this is one of the best augmentation spells there ever was.
You're right. Mm-hmm. Oh, quick story.
Go ahead.
I seem to remember a game where Gage went underwater. There's a lake or whatever. He found a ring of water walking.
Mm-hmm.
And he put it up and he popped right to the surface.
Yeah. Instant escape from the depths of the sunken ship. Ring of water walking. Boink!
Yep.
Surface.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, my number 1.
Number 1, Glenn.
I like this. Don't argue with me. Dimension Door.
Okay.
This is not as powerful as Pass Wall, but I've saved people with it before. I put a fighter through a blade barrier to get to the bad guy with a Dimension Door.
Yep.
Because I don't usually, for myself, it's more like, hey, barbarian, come here. Go through there. See the guy? There's your enemy. Go, get him.
You're not going to have to go through all those blades and get cut to pieces. Go.
Yeah. See all those enemies? Forget them. Just go.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's that was Matt's bane when we were playing. Because I would do stuff like that. So it's like, do you have to do that all the time?
Wouldn't let you get through the prismatic sphere, though.
Oh, there's always an exception.
Yeah, well, prismatic sphere is a 9th level spell too.
Sometimes you got to dwarf ball it.
I mean, Dimension Door is only a 4th level spell, but it's still pretty effective.
Yeah, it enables you to either avoid something or bypass something, or
exactly,
just to cover a large amount of distance in the blink of an eye. Without having to use a teleport spell. Yes. Okay. I'm good with that.
I'm down with it. Well, anyway, there's our 5 folks. Folks.
Another honorable mention that is totally not mentioned by anyone that absolutely should have.
What?
I mean, go for the basics. You're talking about the things that you use for augmentation when the party needs the thing that makes them win the fight. The answer is always bless.
Oh, yeah.
Well, but that was too obvious. Yeah, Bless and Prayer are very obvious because not only do they work together.
And they work on the party and the enemy.
Yes. If you cast a Bless spell before you actually get into a fight, it covers everybody.
That's right.
Same thing with a prayer spell, but if you cast it in a fight, you can only target one person at a time. So,
yeah. And one of them you need to keep concentrating on.
Yes. Exactly. So, but yeah, Bless and Prayer were just too obvious. I just wanted to go with something a little bit different.
Yeah, and I mostly and I pretty much stuck to the mages list too. So the wizards list. Yep. So I just want to deal with one list. Thank you. Yeah.
I get it. I totally get
Okay, if you guys got anything to say about this, THACOshammer@gmail.com and number somewhere.
405-806-0555.
Thank you. And
I have a wrinkle for your what's it's though.
What's it?
What's the wrinkle?
Well, like I offered a complaint about the other spell that was not an augmentation spell, your Dimension Door.
Oh, you mean Pass Wall?
No, you said Dimension Door would be your spell of choice for number one.
That's my number one.
Yes. It only affects the caster, so you can't throw it on the barbarian and throw him to another room. And it requires 1 round of recovery after you get there.
That's because we were
not
playing,
augmented.
That's because we were playing Labyrinth Lord.
Yeah. See?
Which does not have those restrictions.
Okay.
I'm still in the D&D sphere.
D&D-ish, yes. It's okay.
Yes.
It's all right. Don't worry, Glenn. You're okay.
Well, I'm going to forcibly close the splat book this time before full-on says anything else about my spell choices. So, say goodbye, Brian.
And just remember, folks, if you are a thief or an assassin, someone who requires movement, it's free action is probably the best way to go. Although, if you had a choice between a ring of free action and a ring of invisibility, I'd just roll a die. I couldn't choose between the two. But go ahead.
Staff of the cat.
Yeah, something.
There you go. Hold on. Want to say goodbye?
Gamer Nation, we are here. We are always here, and we are always at your back. Let's throw down.
And I'm DM Glenn saying, we'll catch you next time the hammer comes down on THACO's Hammer. Bye-bye. I know, it's just, I love this new desk, but boy, does it hurt my hand. THACO's Hammer theme is provided by the Diablo Swing Orchestra. You'll find them on Jamendo.com. All other additional music for this episode was provided by Kevin MacLeod. You'll find more of his music on Incompetech.com. Be sure to visit our website at THACOshammer.info. If you have any questions or comments, email us at THACOshammer@gmail.com. Remember, that's an O, not a 0. You can also find us on the second edition forums at osrgaming.org and at purpleworm.org. Or give us a call and leave us a voicemail at 405-806-0555. See you next time when the hammer comes down on THACO's Hammer.